Hey guys, and welcome back to another What If here. Today we are doing What If Naruto was a girl / female part 15. Sorry guys for the late upload, and also guys, sorry pretty much for this being short. I pretty much forgot to record it yesterday. I do actually mean yesterday as in Thursday, as I tend to record this, I tend to record almost everything a day before that I'm meant to upload, so I can do long ones without being in a rush. As I generally record at night because it's a lot quieter when you live with your parents. Generally, recording at night is a great idea because you don't have to deal with no other noise, especially if they, Anyway. So, yeah. If you want to know where we left, if you want to know what happened in the last part, you're going to have to, go and watch it yourself. And I pretty much have got some good ideas in the future for the 1 year time skip. So from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden, I've got quite a decent idea. And it will definitely throw a lot into the it wouldn't be expected, put it that way. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, we left off of course with pretty much with of course damn it, I forgot her name now. Okay, so we left off with Reue, which is Naruto. So Reue and Jiraiya. Obviously, Jiraiya showing her how to do the Rasengan, and she and Jiraiya now, from the place he stopped by to get the materials to actually, to train someone with the Rasengan. So it was water balloons, or a couple water balloons and some like plastic balls as well. Yeah. And and of course with Sasuke's brother Itachi and the Fishman, those two of course are kind of looking for her in Kanha, but not realizing she's not there, and I think Itachi realized she wasn't there, and so they've gone looking for her. So from everything else going kind of in canon where they need to, now they kind of don't know, they definitely need to bring her back for Kakashi's sake as well now. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's pretty much, what happened. Anyway, so a couple of days, say 2 to 3 days would go by. Say 2 days, it'd go by, 2-3 days, as they've continued, walking to the next village. As they, arrive, and Reue in this something should get the first step down by the second day. Should actually have gotten the water balloon. That down, and now it's onto the plastic one, which is adding power. Yeah. So first is pretty much making it go crazy, and then the second one is power, while the third one is stabilization of both. So adding both to make it compressing it, of course, making it go wild, but compressing it and increasing its power. That's the third step. Yeah. And then the fourth is suddenly your own element, which nobody else has been able to yet. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. And of course, Jiraiya's do it again, so she does it, 4 times just to show him, and he's like, damn, you've got some talent there, of course, like Kakashi took a month to do it. I took, a good 2 months to do it. Your dad took, or it's like 3 to 5 years to master it. Then again, your dad did invent it and all, but yeah, it's crazy. And that, like, you took hard, like, just get to that, just get to that step. Took what, like, me and Kakashi probably, a good 3 weeks. 2-3 weeks just to do that. Well, maybe slightly less, but it took us a while, and you just mastered it, in under a week. Like, damn, you're showing us up. It's like, well, I am my father's daughter, and that after all. It's like, well, I guess so. Yeah. And, well, yeah, of course, the next day they would arrive at the village. And he's like, well, you'd kind of think about, going off. As pretty much, oh yeah, but he thinks, no, I can't leave her alone. She's my goddaughter, and I've got all the responsibilities to look after her. I know my book, and materials for my book, but I can't do it with her around. And this is meant to be a mission for it to be, I'm meant to be looking for Tsunade and helping her train. And so he does that. So, but of course, because the fair was going on, then he goes, well, we can take a break first. And you can see, in Ryu's eyes, that she's looking a bit sad, as she's never really been ever able to enjoy one. As he kind of thinks, and he's like, well, yeah, today we can definitely take a break, as she's never really ever experienced a carnival before. As you would go down to our island, and she'll go, how about this, Reue? How about, we take the day off, and, we have fun together. She's like, what do you mean, have fun? It's like, well, you've never been to a carnival before, have you? And she's like, well, no, we both know why. Especially, because the villagers would never really let me. They all, how they saw me. And he's like, well, yeah, but, nobody here knows who you are. They could care less, to be honest. And so, why not, enjoy? And, I'll pay for anything. You don't have to, and we can have a bit of fun. And some bonding time. And so that's what they do. So they play, so they, go on, they go exploring, play some games, get some food and that. And, should be, thankful, happy. It'll be her first time really experiencing that, and her first time feeling, joy, joy from doing something else that isn't kind of training and mastering a new technique and getting praised. She's just feeling joy from doing something else that isn't, getting praised from her, sensei for doing something that's, good. And by impressing them. And so, and they would, of course, go back. His eyes well, kind of, as it's kind of getting late, how about you now go to the hotel, and, you can have your shower and that. And, I'll be near. I'll just be, seeing if I can get any intel, but I won't venture that far away. And she's like, well, okay. I guess I can let you off, getting at least a bit of research. as I think, you've deserved that, at least. And as and he thinks about taking her up on that offer, but he's like, no, this is a mission to look for Tsunade. I've got, and plus, who knows who's after her. So now, and especially that organisation, they're after the jerky, so I'm gonna have to be careful so I can't venture too far away. And of course, the girls like the Sasuke and not Sasuke, Itachi, and that hired to, of course, get dry away wouldn't work. Who'd see them as they're like, how about you big boy, come over and play with us. You can have a good time. And it's like, no, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Currently got someone else, so no thanks. I don't want to ruin that relationship anytime soon. Yeah, as he walks away, of course he's on about he's slowly now starting to build an actual kind of more father-daughter type relationship with her, as in he can know that she's starting to start letting her guard down around him, which and he's like, well, it's about time, I guess, but it's warranted, as she hasn't had the best of upbringings. And of course Itachi and that would still continue on their plan to try and capture Reue, as they'd knock on the door, and Jiraiya wouldn't be that far behind, as he saw them out of the corner of his eye, so he decided to kind of slowly watch where they were going. And of course he noticed Uchiha as well. He's like, damn it, someone from the village. But it's like, but kind of thinks, why is he here? Not unless they must have attacked the village. I wonder if the village, okay, no, right now I need to betray them. As he does, and of course he sees them going to the exact hotel that he told Reed to go into, as he's like, they're definitely after her, they even know where she is, damn it. As he, goes in, as, they're about to knock on the door, as Jiraiya's like, what do you think you're doing? Yeah. As it's actually like, damn it, he caught us. And of course, and we're just like, oh, Sensei's here, but I feel Sasuke's presence, and someone who's also familiar to Sasuke, and something else I can't tell. The one that feels like Sasuke and somebody else, or just outside the door. Well, I'm definitely not gonna open the door. Yeah, and of course then, Dry does manage to get them kind of away from the door, but they're still in the hallway, and then of course Sasuke kind of goes, Itachi, as he screams pretty much for him, as he tries to fight his brother, as she then opens the door, as Dry is like, hi there, Ryu, just fighting these two people. These two are from an organisation that is, well, I told you before that, just as our mission started, I told you who was, hunting you, well, could possibly be, come after you. Just it's like, that's, yeah. and it's like she kind of, of course, does beat up his brother, as then, well, of course, Jiraiya then, of course, then decides to do the summoning jutsu, and what he does in canon as then the other two escape. And then, of course, like, everything else kind of goes in similar with Might Guy kind of, accidentally, going through the hole and beating up, hitting Jiraiya by mistake. Yeah, and so, of course, he does, Guy does take him back, but he does at least tell him that, don't worry, Jiraiya Sensei. Everything, like, everyone in the village is safe. They seem to have only come for, Reue, so everything's, fine. Nobody was really hurt besides from Kakashi. We're really gonna need Lady Tsunade. I was just like, I'm gonna have to double time it then. I was hoping we could, you kind of think, so I was hoping to at least stay, another day here. To have, like, let her catch, up on a, like, break, have at least a small 2-day break at that, but I guess this day was enough. Yeah, we really need to find her. And he's like, well, yeah, tomorrow, well, I think I know where she is. Yeah. He's like, well, hopefully get her soon. As he then runs off. Yeah. As we, looks at Joy and it's like, wow, what we're then doing, it's like, well, in the next town, of course, in the next village that we'll be going to, there is, well, it's kind of got a gambling hall in that. And she's like, what, just like this one? It's like, well, yeah, and well, I did visit that just to see if I could get any information from them, and they said that a one that I was kind of describing did pass by, and so I would assume if I'm right, if we can get that fast enough, she would be there, as she is one heck of a gambler, but she is very, very bad at gambling. She tends to, well, she's, she is called the legendary sucker because she seems to lose a lot. So what do you mean? Well, if she makes a bet, it's guaranteed that she'll lose the bet. So yeah. And it's like, it's like, well, a lot of the other, like, girls might, aspire to be, like, or have, the same power, or even just to meet, Lady Tsunade. I don't really think she's, that great. Yeah, she's a medic, but what's so, but really, what's so great about having perfect chakra control and being a medic? Like, yeah, you may be able to heal yourself really fast or that, but, like, unless you, like, have got some crazy jutsu that you can do that can turn the tide of a battle in an instant, it's pretty much pointless having perfect chakra control. Like, yeah, you will only be able to, use it to heal people faster and that, but, well, yeah, unless, the shell clone jutsu and you've got the chakra reserves to, make any true use of the shadow clones. It's like, well, you do kind of have a point there. And, well, but there is also one other thing that, that, well, compared to everyone else that, would just love to meet her, like, as he's like, well, it's, about time I told her. It's like, it's like, this is, like, there is only one other person in the world that knows, who I am, who I am to you. So, what do you mean? It's like, well, there's Tsunade who knows about, what I am to you, and, well, your father knew what I was to you, as your father asked me. I am your godfather. As she's a bit surprised, and it's like, oh yeah, and she kind of, slowly starts putting it together, that it kind of starts making sense now, but she does at least kind of, like, tear into him a bit about, not being there for her, all these years and that. But she does also understand that, you might not have been able to because of his spy network and that. So, yeah, but she is still her. And it's like, well, there's that, but there's someone that, probably deserves a lot more anger. It's just like, what do you mean? Like, Reue, like, what do you mean? Like, more of my anger towards that? It's like, yeah, and, well, you should probably hear it from that person, but, just in case she might not tell you, I'm gonna have to tell you, I'm gonna tell you here, so, yeah. Well, yeah, you know how, like, other people, want to be either, just like, even related to, Reue and Tsunade. It's just like, yeah, where you going with this? Sensei is like, well, her dad, the first Hokage, well, no, her granddad, the first Hokage, his wife was the first in Cherokee of the Nine-Tails Fox. And it's like, wait, but then it's like, yes, you are from the, from the Uzumaki side, you are related to her by, by clan. You are related by her. She may be the last of the century, but she is also an Uzumaki. Her grandmother was an Uzumaki, and thus she is, she's pretty much like your cousin or that, so you do have at least one relative left in this world. And that is, Tsunade, and yeah. And she's like, but then, hang on, like, am I really related to Tsunade? As like, you are by clan and by blood related to her, but through the Uzumaki's half of you are related to Tsunade, and whilst I am your godfather, she is your cousin, and it seems like, she doesn't really care much about family if, she never came back to you, and I feel like she's got more of a, more of an obligation to look after you than I do. Yes, I was asked to be your godfather, but, she's a relative of you by blood, and so she's got even more of an obligation to look after you, really. And well, yeah, it takes, a couple of minutes to let it, actually sink in and that. And so, well, yeah, with that, like, a couple of days would go past and she's practicing on the rubber ball. And, oh, yeah, of course, they would end up finding her, like, in these same kind of bars, drives like, well, it seems like, we're gonna have to go to the next town and hope she's there. Otherwise, if not, this is just, a goose station. We should, who knows where she can be then. This is the last place that I could think of. But he's like, oh well, let's go in there and get something to eat. And it's like, well, okay then, as he opens, like, the door and, like, as he just stands there, he's like, what, Reue, why are you standing here for? As he just points over and he's like, Tsunade? As Tsunade gets like, Reue? Tsunade? Reue? What are you doing here? It's like, as he kind of walks over. Well, yeah, as they just walk over and sit down, on the table. It's like, well, as he kind of explains, and she's like, well, and she kind of has the same attitude, and, well, of course, like, Ryu's always looked up to the Hokage in that, and whilst, she's, yeah, she's just always, that's her goal, to be, to become Hokage, to prove that, to prove everyone wrong that she is, just to really, get attention and that, but also to protect everyone that she cares for, that she loves and cares for. And yeah, and she's like, well, and it's like, well, as much she'd kind of like, just like, the room would start kind of getting cold as Reue can, like, notice that she's getting angry, and it is not great for her. As if she gets too angry, well, Kuruma's chakra can slip out. And, he's heard, at least from Kakashi, that she can at least use, and also him kind of training with her, that she knows that she can use some of Kuruma's chakra, but she doesn't know how much of Kuruma's chakra, Nine Tails' chakra, that she can use. Well, she can use around, like, 1 tails of chakra. Like, just barely being in control, she can use 1 tails of chakra. Yeah. And, yeah. And so, of course, and was like, and so now it's like, well, what do you want? It's just like, well, for one, I've got a name, Reue Uzumaki. So, July is not being the best of people, yeah, he had an obligation to to look after me, considering my dad died, and he was, and my dad made Reue my godfather, so he had an obligation to look after me, which he didn't. But I can understand, he had the spy network and that, but, well, it seems like you don't care about family, Tsunade. It's like, what do you mean I don't care about family? I risked my entire life, as he kind of brings up some bad memories, as she's like, and he's like, well, yeah, they're dead, but you've had someone else, you left the village, and with that you left someone else behind. Sure, I wasn't born yet, but still, you never came back. to check up on the one person. Well, I guess two people when my mum was alive. And she's like, what? It's like, well, I know your grandmother was a Uzumaki, am I right? And it's like, well, yeah. And it's like, well, we are cousins, aren't we? Because we're both Uzumakis. You may be 1/3 of an Uzumaki, but I'm half Uzumaki. And that makes us cousins. So you abandoned not just the village, but also your last living relative. Also, by doing that, you abandoned about 2 of your last living relatives. One wasn't born yet, which was me, but the other one was my mum. You abandoned my mum, probably one of your cousins, and also me. You're now your last true living cousin. Sure, that could be other Uzumakis out there that we don't know of. That possibly is, but well, I'm pretty much like you're the last really living Uzumakis, and well, we are cousins after all. And you just abandoned me. You said you cared about family, but it shows that you didn't. You didn't. You never came back to see me. You never looked after me. You never bothered. Once you left, you threw everything else away. And of course, that does get through to Tsunade quite hard, as she kind of realizes, yeah, she is, 1/3 Uzumaki, and that she did have at least some rights. She had more rights, even more than Jiraiya, to look after her, as she was her biological cousin. And yeah, it hits her really bad, as Jiraiya can see that she's hit. She's taken it pretty hard, and well, yeah, and she doesn't really ask about the pig, as of course the other two will have introduced themselves by now. But yeah, of course, and she's like, Jiraiya's like, really, don't you think you've gone a bit too far? As she looks over to Jiraiya with Kuma's chakra, with the red slitted eyes, as she's like, do you think I've gone far enough, Jiraiya? She pretty much abandoned the village. She abandoned me. You, I can understand, but you never abandoned the village. You had your spy network, which, kept the village from being attacked and that from anyone else. But what has she done all this time? Yeah, she's just, run around spending her money like a mad woman, doing nothing for the village. She's, to all belief, she can be in the bingo book as a traitor of the village, as by all means she's left the village. She's a ninja after all, so if any ninja go rogue, leave the village and never come back, by all means they're classified as rogue ninjas. So by all means, and I don't care if she is a Shining Jiraiya. She's pushed her limits. She's put that too far now. It's either she comes back with us tomorrow, or she gets branded when we get back. She's branded being a missing nin. And she's like, what kind of hell won't do that? It's like, and she's like, they will if they have to. You may be the princess of kind of hard, but they will put you in the bingo books if they have to. And if that day comes, I will happily come after you and kill you for just abandoning me and the village. You never bothered to ever check up on me or even take me out the village and look after me outside the village. Because then you would have had, the rights to stay outside of the village. Because you would have been looking after me, Agent Cherokee of the Nine-Tails Fox. Yeah. And of course her red eyes just piss, just aimed at Tsunade, and she doesn't really bet anything, because she's almost about to cry. Tsunade is, and it's you've got two options, Tsunade. You can either stay running away from your duty, of being the fifth Hokage and being there for me, or you can choose to be classed as a mid-Chunin and run for the rest of your life. Being hunted by people every day of every second of your life. Yeah, you can either have that, or you can become the Hokage of Konoha and start mending your relationship with the village and me as a whole. Sure, the village, loves you. They may not care right now, but once you're banded with being a missing nin, and that gets out to the villagers, they're definitely not going to like you. The fact that you just didn't do nothing for them. It's sure, they may not really, sure, they love Jiraiya. They love and hate Jiraiya for his own reasons, but they have no reason to hate you up until now, so it's your choice. You'll either continue to run away for the rest of your life, or you come back, mend your relationship with me, start a relationship with me as cousins, and become the Hokage. Now, what will you choose, Tsunade? As she's, yeah, and she knows that. She at least even knows that she knows that. She thought, at first, no, they won't, but as the conversation has gone, she's started to realise that will brand, had they branded, the snake signing as one, I can't remember his name at the moment. Yeah, Orochimaru. They branded Orochimaru as a missing nin. So why wouldn't they do it to the Princess of Konoha? She's got, the only time she's got to Konoha is being their princess, and that's it. Otherwise, they've got all the rights to put her in as a missing nin. And yeah, she's fine. Tomorrow, it's fine, but first I've got something I have to do tomorrow. And it's just well, no, not tomorrow. So, first I've got something to do in the week, and Ruby's I've guessed that Orochimaru who's been to visit you, hasn't he? Even Jiraiya is a bit surprised. He's what? It's she's how did you know? It's I can smell his scent all over you. It's almost, I could smell his scent in this village. So I knew you had to be at least tears. Jiraiya's like, oh right, of course. Right, it makes sense. Yeah. And of course, her senses are heightened being being the drink of the Nine Tails, and they are at least on a working friendship. It's slowly getting better. And she has told she did tell Jiraiya yesterday, so just before they get there, and she showed him that she can transform into a fox, and that to get used to walking on all fours, and that as Jiraiya thought that was kind of handy, of transformation. Yeah, and just like, well, yeah, and just like, well, he said that, he would give me a week to decide. As decide on what? She's like, well, and he's like, so he gave you a week to decide if to bring back one of your loved ones, huh? To, bring back one of your loved ones. In exchange, you heal his arms. And yeah, and Jiraiya's just like, what? But how can he do that? And it's like, I don't know. I thought there was another technique, and he's like, well, he wouldn't, I would though. As they look over to her, it's like, what? Wait, it's like, well, I know the basis of the jutsu as, well, the fellow Kage, at least, because he was the Kage, he couldn't really show favoritism towards me, even though everyone in the village knew he liked me, so, yeah, but I did kind of ask him once, my parents said, why couldn't he bring him back? And he said, well, he could, but would they be happy, about it? And he told me that, of a jutsu that could do it. It was a bad jutsu. It's called the reanimation jutsu. It brings back. It requires a life sacrifice, so it needs someone alive to bring back the person that you loved. But remember, Tsunade, would they be happy with it? Don't forget that they may be your loved ones, but they wouldn't want to kill someone to, come back alive. They wouldn't want that. Nobody would ever want that. They died for you. They would have never wanted to be brought back to life. And it's just like, well, I kind of got to that conclusion not too long ago. But, yeah, and I've decided to become the Hokage of Konoha, so yeah, and yeah, and they would at least talk for a little bit more. Maybe this time around she doesn't drug. Well, I'm not to that yet, but anyway, this is where I'm gonna leave it, guys. As it's now 9 o'clock, so I've got roughly 45 minutes to get this rendered out, which lucky enough will probably take 20 minutes, maybe less, to render this and upload it. So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this, if you enjoyed this channel, just at least subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video, well, waterfall video tomorrow, and hey, good bye.